Hi. To add some custom PHP to an admin edit view is very easy. Let me show you how. So I have a sermon admin view open here. The sermon admin view that I'm working on here is part of the demo of the tutorial demo data. And if you open it, you can see there's a tab called PHP. Now, way at the bottom of this list of switches, there's one called Custom Document Script. Now, the Custom Document Script is basically the document method. Now, let me show you where that is. So, if we look at the component, I'm in the Joomla install admin components. I've gone into sermon distributor, then views, then sermon, right? Now, if you know the MVC implementation of Joomla, you'll know that they've sort of separated the view into two areas. One is this view html.php and the other being the template. Now, you might be tempted to put the script here, but this is actually an area that can be overwritten by a template. So if your website has a template that targets this component sermon view, it overrides the edit area. So that means the best implementation would be in the view itself, in the view PHP file itself. So if we open that and we scroll down, you see there's a method called display. That's basically the method that gets fired, and it's in this parent display that a lot of the view is being built. Then there's this thing called set document. This also executes before anything shows to the page, and the set document has its own method, of course. There it is. Most of our custom scripting is actually added here. We're adding when we want to add, let's say, some JS files to the page or some CSS files to the page. We're adding it in here, and we know by the time the page gets loaded, everything of this method is executed. And obviously you already have access in this method to everything that you would have access in the display method. So that means the form, the item, the script, the state, all these, this values are available here. Because it executes at the end of the method, all that happens above is already there and can be used. Okay, so that's just a quick look at where does the document script then gets added. It gets added to this method. So whatever you type in there will be placed here. So I would suggest you add your custom scripting here. Just a little heads up, if you are doing something on your page that is actually part of a post request, so let's say you're trying to upload an image, drag and drop an image on the page, have it uploaded, I would suggest using Ajax and basically handling the post accordingly with the JavaScript Ajax request. Then you would set up your PHP in the Ajax method. You would set up your task that you are targeting in accordance to the Ajax PHP method name on this side, right? And the values that you are passing and what kind of values, and to make sure that it gets sanitized correctly. And then here you can write, for example, if I want to save a file, so uploading, here is a function, a method name that I'm targeting through some JavaScript in another view. So I'm not going to explain the whole Ajax implementation of Component Builder now. I'm just trying to say that if you want to move data from the page to the server, it's best it going through a controller so that it gets checked, and that it doesn't post to itself and there's no checking the validity or the security of the data. So there is another area called custom buttons. If you say yes here, it opens a place where we can write a PHP controller method, and where you can write a model method, which the controller method, after it's satisfied with whatever it needs to do, passes it to the model. And in this custom button, you can add buttons, but you don't need to. You can leave this blank and just add the controller and the method and post from the page to it. You can create your own button, okay, with JavaScript on the page, and this controller will then take care of the rest. So I think that should answer the question of how to add some custom scripting to a admin editing view. And so one would be to add it to this document script area. The other one would be to set up a controller and a model method. And if you don't know what that would mean, I can just give you a quick peek into the code. So I'm quickly going back to the code. So within each request, it happens obviously in the view, but it gets posed to a controller. So each editing view of an admin area, for example sermon, has a controller. Now there is a controller, a global controller that we have initiated called ajax.json.php. So if you in your view add values here, it would be posted to that controller, or placed in that controller. Let me open it. You'll see it will then set up a registering the task. It'll make sure that the token is in place. It'll then check what task is being fired, and it'll set up these task lists for you and take the values, sanitize them, and pass them over to the model. And the Ajax model obviously is in the models folder, and you can open it. And so the actual model then gets the data here, and then can do whatever you want it to do. So there is a very nice, easy Ajax implementation in Component Builder to do some very smart uploading and moving of values from the page without refreshing the page. In fact, I've used it to upload drag and drop PDF files and things like that before, so it's really capable of moving data as an Ajax request. If you want to just have someone select a file from their PC and then upload it, then I'll sort of encourage you just to use the media field type of Joomla, which is coming by default can be set up in Component Builder as a file type. But if you want that dynamic drag and drop and shoop, it uploads the file or whatever, I would suggest using Ajax, which would then require quite a bit of JavaScript. Now, having said all that, I'll give you a quick peek at how I did that with PDF. Okay, so I'm here in another admin view, which I'm using for a project, and it says here PDF CV uploader UI kit, and it's a node, the type. So I've basically created a node, which is a field type. Let me open that. We have a look at it. Okay, so in the node, I have added a few divs with some nice UI kit placeholder, and the UI kit has a very fancy drag and drop JavaScript model. So you can go to UIKit or getuikit.com or .org. Let's quickly check that. Okay, so here's an upload, allow users to upload files. So basically it creates this kind of little window. It uses that markup, and here is the JavaScript that you then need to add. So it takes care of a lot of things. You can even say what you want to allow. It's really smart. I think it's the best, one of the best to use. Obviously there are others which are very good as well. I'm just familiar with this one, and I think it works. Okay, so it basically grabs the information and it will be sending it to a PHP URL, which will then be the, if you look at my note, I have a script area here, and I've simply added the URL to the Ajax upload file is the function, or the task, and I said what it would be, CV and the raw true, and basically I only want a PDF, and I've tweaked their script to accommodate my concept, right? And I'm only loading this to the view, so this already would just take care of all of it. So in the view itself, I made a few changes. I'm not going to explain all that, but going down to the PHP, here we have upload file. Then I have a method called get package from upload, and all this is the Joomla's default uploading mechanism, basically copied and adapted for my purpose. So if you know PHP, this won't be a problem. You're basically uploading the file and then placing it in a temporary folder, and then after that I have another function that checks whether everything I want is there and right, and then it moves it, renames it, hides it, and all that kind of security. Okay, so I'm not going to explain the PHP too much, because that I believe is part of what you'll be able to do. So simply created a note, and in it added the JavaScript and necessary placeholders to drag and drop a PDF on the page, and shoop, it gets uploaded to the server, and then sends back that it's been done, and that field gets changed to saying that okay, we've got your file. So that's another way of adding some custom scripting to an admin view if you want to do an uploading mechanism. I'm sure I'll do something more detailed soon about this upload concept. I just wanted to answer this question that was given to me on GitHub. Okay, have a great day.